everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you guys are new. I'm so excited for today's video because it's going to be an Instagram chooses my makeup. So I put a poll up on my stories a few days ago and you guys voted whether or not you wanted to be a part of this video. There were a little bit more submissions than I had categories for, but I started from the very first person who responded and I asked you to pick a product from each category. So we're just going to go in order of how I would typically do my makeup. I'm going to tell you who picked the product and I will have all of their information linked down below if they have a makeup Instagram. So if you're watching this and you have a personal Instagram page, but you did pick one of these categories, I was planning to just say like your first name, but if you want that to be included in my description box, just let me know. I should have asked that beforehand, but I don't want to put out your information unless you have okayed it. But I'm assuming it's okay if you already have a public makeup-based Instagram page. So I hope that makes sense. But let's just go ahead and jump into it. So for eyeshadow primer, we're going to be using the Cover Lid Lockup. And Lee chose this from @LearInLoves, I think. She does have an Instagram, so I will have that link down below. But I'm gonna go ahead and just start off with the eyeshadow base. This is the one that I got to kind of replace my NARS eyeshadow base, and I've been liking it so far. It's pretty good. I'm just using my sponge to blend this out just because it's quicker. That's pretty much how I always blend out my eyeshadow base. I don't know, with this one it's not very tacky. Maybe I should have just used my finger. So I guess I'll add a little bit more. So for everyone that has a makeup page that's going to be featured in this video, I thought it would be fun if I put like a couple pictures up from their page that I really like while I'm applying the product that they chose, so that you guys can kind of get a feel of what their feed looks like. You know, definitely you should go check out any of these people that are choosing this because they all really chose good products. So I'm really looking forward to seeing like how this whole look comes together, because you guys didn't know what everyone else chose. So there are some categories where I don't know how well they're gonna go together. Okay, for eyeshadow, the very first person that responded yes to that Instagram story was Caroline, and her Instagram is Get the Glow. And I asked her, I said, because you were the first person to respond, which category would you like to pick from? And she chose eyeshadow palettes, and she chose the Natasha Denona Glam palette. And then I ran out of categories, and there were so many of you guys still responding yes, and so I sent a question to Rhea, and it's Rhea McDonald, but I had her do like a palette bingo for this particular palette. So I sent her a picture of this palette and I asked her to pick 5 shades from it, and she did. So I'm gonna put the picture up right here of the 5 that she chose, and these are the ones that we're going to be using for this look. And I've got the picture pulled up, so I'm not gonna dip into anything other than what she chose. So I'm gonna start out with the blend shade, which is the lightest matte shade that she chose. This is weird for me to not start out with the transition shade, just to kind of set everything. So this is already different from how I usually use this palette, which was like the whole point of this video. I was actually really glad whenever she chose this palette because it's just a favorite of mine. I feel like, especially for the holiday time, it's just perfect, and this is a good time of year to be reaching into it. This is actually sticking really well to that eyeshadow base. I'm noticing that it's sticking a little bit too well. I always set down this eyeshadow primer. You can see it's like really sticking to that primer. I'm gonna cheat just a little bit. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm just gonna dip in between the one that she chose and the lightest one in order to be able to blend this out, because I just can't set the primer down really with this darker color. And I don't think the powder that was chosen would really work for this, so I'm just gonna dip into that shade also. But it's definitely the primer because I use this palette a lot. And I've not had this happen actually, but I'm still getting used to the eyeshadow primer. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. I didn't really want to change the color. I just wanted it to blend a little bit better. And I think that it did that, so I'm happy with that. She's actually kind of challenging me with this because she also picked the deepest matte shade, and I feel like I never reach into that. Like, you can probably tell just by looking at my palette that it's like one of my least used shades. So I'm going to take a little bit more of a dense brush. I'm still using the same shade called Blend, but I'm just putting this on the outer corner of my lid, and I'm still dragging it up towards the brow bone. Okay, I think I'm just going to roll with it. I will try and kind of clean up these edges a little bit more when I do my face makeup. Okay, I'm gonna take the shade Center Eyelid and I'm going to put this all over my eyelid. I actually want to bring up the shimmer like a little bit past my crease. I did this the other day and I actually really enjoyed it because it's kind of a subtle color. It's not crazy bright or anything. And I just feel like that will make it look a little bit more fun. And then I'm actually kind of like following the instructions. I'm going to take outer eyelid and put this on my outer eyelid. Okay, I felt like I needed to get a little bit closer for the eye look, but I'm just going to continue to tap this. I'm also gonna like bring this up actually towards my brow. I don't know why, I'm just kind of feeling like it. Okay, and then I'm gonna build up a little bit more of that center eyelid shade, the pink one. And then the last shimmer shade that she chose was the inner corner one. And I want to pick that up. I actually want to tap it like right in the center of my lid, but at a diagonal going towards the outside of my brow. And I'm gonna take that first fluffy crease brush that we used, and I'm just gonna lightly go over the part in my crease with this. I'm not really trying to blend anything, I'm just trying to kind of soften up the edges. Next I'm gonna take this like flat squared off shader brush into the lash line shade, which is the deepest matte, and this is the 5th shade that Rhea chose. I'm just wanting to stamp this along the lash line. I'm gonna kind of wing it out. I feel like your guys' Instagram pages inspire me so much, so I thought this video would just be a lot of fun because I'm already reaching into this palette differently than I ever do, and not just with the colors that Rhea chose, but also just the technique in general. I'm not worried about this area over here because I'm going to use a makeup wipe to make the line the way that I want it. It's a good thing I did the eyes first. I'm making sure that this outer part has plenty of pigment for when I clean up that line, and I think I'm happy with that. Okay, I'm going to use a makeup wipe to pick up the fallout, and then I'm also going to use it to sharpen up this wing here. I feel like winged liner always really accentuates that I have uneven eyes, but I mean, maybe we all do, just a little bit. I'm gonna take a little bit more of that lash line shade and kind of fill in this little gap I'm seeing right here. I'm gonna build up the center eyelid shade just a tiny bit more, and again I'm gonna bring it up slightly past the crease, and then I'm going to add a little bit more of that inner corner shade as well. I'm going to go ahead and go in again with the outer eyelid, so basically all the shimmers that we were using, and build them up again because I kind of want the shimmer to go over that matte shade. This is not the look I thought I would create with this, but I am loving it. And I'm sure these shimmers don't even show up on camera as good as they are in person either, but I love it. I'm just going to use that makeup wipe again to get that shimmer shade up where I don't want it. All right, I'm very happy with this. So let's go ahead and move on to the face. So for primer, Haley chose my primer, and her Instagram username is @HeyDrizzleMakeup, and she chose the e.l.f. Mint Melt. Haley was one of the first people I think that I ever followed on Instagram and that ever followed me. And that was earlier this year. My primer is broken, so I have to like really squeeze it and pump it at the same time. But yeah, Haley's always so sweet, and I always really love talking with her. I think she just had a baby, so I hope that you and your little baby are doing well, Haley. How recent ago was that? Because I will feel like someone just had a baby and then the baby turns 2. So, I mean, I feel like I know it was this year, right? Like it hasn't been that long. Like you had your baby this year, right? Let me know. I really do like this primer. I mean, I wish mine wasn't broken, but it's still really good. And the product comes out and it works the same, so I think it's fine. Okay, for foundation, Gracie Hansen Makeup picked the foundation for me to use in today's video, and she chose the Rare Beauty foundation. I have this in the shade 140C. You have to shake it really well. My dog, he just whipped his head around at me like, excuse you, I'm trying to take a nap. And I have noticed with this that less is more. So I'm gonna start off with like just a little bit on that cheek. And then I'm going to use this Japanese brush to blend it out. I'm going to work in small sections because I don't know how it's going to play with the primer, but it seems to be pretty good. It's really hard for me to look in a mirror and film at the same time because I don't have a table like directly in front of me to put an actual mirror on, so I have to hold one. And when I'm holding whatever product I'm using too, it just gets a little complicated, and that's why I end up dropping things in like every video. Yeah, I think Rare Beauty's marketing originally kind of didn't mention, hey, like use just a tiny bit, and everyone was saying it was really cakey. And then I feel like they try to make it like a movement of like the 1 dot challenge or something. I mean, I feel like that was a pretty good effort on their marketing end, but I just thought it was kind of funny. But it's true though, like you really don't need a ton of this. This isn't my favorite foundation ever, but it is good in my opinion. But honestly, when I finish it, I don't think I'd repurchase it. Now that I've got it all spread out, I'm going to go over with my sponge. For concealer, Ashley from Ash Beauty Corner chose the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Ashley also has a YouTube channel, and I will have both of her things linked down below, her YouTube and her Instagram. This is a really good concealer. I have a shade that's a little too light for me. I'm going to jump around a little bit because I know I have a cream product to use, and then we'll come back to powder. So let's go ahead and do some cheek products. And we're going to skip down to bronzer, and Emily from Emily's Makeup Bag chose the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. Again, Emily has an Instagram page and a YouTube channel, so I will be sure to have both of those linked down below. But she said that she chose this one because she's had her eye on it, and I told her, I'm sorry in advance to your wallet because I really like it. I have found the key to this is to work one cheek at a time, and to also, or to work quickly if you're going to do both cheeks, and to use kind of like a pressing motion at first, because I feel like sometimes whenever I just start buffing it in, like, you know, blending it, that it can kind of move product around a little bit, but also just like completely blend away. So I do like to use pressing motions. Sometimes I get a little carried away drawing the little dots everywhere, but I try to remind myself to just do a little section at a time. And then now that I've got it mostly pressed in, I'll use a little bit of like a buffing motion, but I really try to do the stamping. I love the undertone of this too. It's so pretty. I'm gonna go ahead and jump back to powder, and Beverly chose the Hard Candy Chilling Wonder Powder, and Beverly's Instagram name is BevLovesBeauty_. This powder is so good, and actually one of you guys messaged me on Instagram today and told me that this is a dupe for the Becca powder, like the chilling kind of powder from Becca, which I think is pretty cool because I know that Becca is like not a thing anymore. So that's awesome. If this is a dupe and you loved that, you can still kind of have a similar product to be able to purchase. I had never even heard of that. Honestly, I didn't really know a lot about Becca other than their highlights and maybe their primer, but I do really like this powder from Hard Candy. So Haley chose the Blushed Volume 2 palette from Juvia's Place to use as my blush. And because it is a duo, I decided to ask another person to pick which shade I should use. And I asked Diana from My Makeup Motif, and she actually suggested something that I haven't tried before, and I'm really excited to try it in this video. And she said, why don't you do kind of like an ombre, where you have the lighter pink on like more of the apple of the cheek, and then the deeper terracotta kind of like drawn up into your bronzer, like towards your hairline. So I am really going to be interested to see how this goes, but I'm happy to try it, especially since I have a more like neutral eye look going on. So let's go ahead and try that. I'm going to start out with a very clean brush so that we know exactly how this makes my cheeks look without any other colors on the blush brush. So I'm going to start out with the lightest pink, and I'm going to put this, like she suggested, on the apple of the cheek. I would never think to do this. Like, I might think to like dip in between the two, but never to just do like an ombre. So I'm actually really excited. I'm going to bring it up a little bit so that I can blend the two into one another to give that ombre look. Okay, let's do the other side. And I have a feeling I'll probably have to like go over this with my sponge because I'll probably put too much on. Let me go ahead and pull it up around my nose too. I'm just kind of in the mood for that. Okay, now let's dip into the more like terracotta kind of color and put this on the latter half. Ooh, okay. This is so fun. I would never think to do this. And I'm gonna kind of blend the two in together again. Oh, I really like that. Okay. I feel like it just like brings my cheeks up more, but then also like sculpts the back end of it, which is really smart. Diana, I am so glad you suggested this. I really would have never thought to do this. But now it's like a 4-in-1 blush because you've got two options. You can mix the two, or you can do an ombre, or you could do reverse ombre and have a fifth option. This is just a really good idea. This is why I love makeup, because there's literally no rules. You can just do whatever you want. And if you don't end up liking something, you just wash it off. Okay, I feel like I better stop before I add too much, but I want to kind of like drag it up into the temple a little bit. I hope I did this right. I hope you didn't mean for me to do like the terracotta color first. I feel like that's what you said. I should have taken better notes. Like I said, I film on my phone, so it's hard for me to like pull up my Instagram messages from you guys. I've had to pause the video a couple of times and go check. I like this. It's like heavy on blush, that's my own thing. But I feel like once we get the rest of the look together, it's going to really tie everything in together. I love this. I'm so excited that you suggested this, Diana. And also to Haley for picking this duo, because otherwise I would have just been using a single blush. For highlight, Mary chose the Revolution, or I Heart Revolution Rose Gold Glow, the one that looks like a chocolate bar. And I thought it was perfect that I meant to say that. I thought it was perfect that she ended up picking the highlight because she always wears really fun highlighter shades. And this is a really like blinding and fun highlights. I'm actually just gonna mix the two shades. I should have messaged someone else and asked them which shade I should use, but I'll just go ahead and mix the two since we did the ombre on the cheek. I won't do the ombre on the highlight, but I'm gonna kind of like spread this all around. This is a blinding highlight. It's really pretty. But yeah, I thought this worked out really well because I thought it was really fun that Mary chose the highlight, and then also I thought it was fun that Emily chose the bronzer because I feel like she's such a bronzer girl. Like when I think of Emily, I think of bronzer, and I love that about her because we both have fair skin, but she will like load up some bronzer, and recently I feel like she's been inspiring me to do that, and especially on camera, like I love the way that looks. So I need to stop putting this highlight on, but like I can't stop. It's so pretty. So yeah, this was a really fun choice. I like this a lot. I'm gonna go over my forehead just a tiny bit because I feel like that bronzer just didn't blend perfectly right here, and that could have been me too. And then I'm also gonna take this over the cheeks because I went a little overboard with the highlight. It looks a little bit more glowy here because of my lighting. It's not exactly perfectly even, but I feel like it's actually pretty even in real life. Okay, let's skip around a little bit and let's hop to brows. And Makeup Stash _GT chose the Milani Weekend Brow. This is my go-to brow product. I love it so much. I feel like I brought my brows in a lot more than I usually do, and now it feels weird, but whatever. Sometimes with like more glam looks, I want like more brow, but that was like a lot of brow. Okay, and then for brow gel, Katie chose the e.l.f. Wow Brow. And I'm also really glad that Katie chose this one because it is becoming a favorite of mine. I also love how everything that you guys picked has gone together so well so far. I was a little nervous that we were gonna have like a red lipstick and a blue eyeshadow or something that kind of clashed. For eyeliner, Emily from Makeup Is For Me chose the Essence Nude, like silky nude eyeliner. She said that she has this one as well and that it goes with every look. I definitely agree with that. It goes with everything. I'm just gonna put this in the waterline. I know some people get creeped out watching people put eyeliner in the waterline. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it on and then we'll talk about it. But anyways, I wanted to just mention that Emily's whole like branding and her username and then her bio and everything of like makeup is for me, I do it for myself. I definitely feel that and I love that message. Yeah, also her eyes are gorgeous, and if this is what she uses to make her eyes pop the way that they do, I need to be using it more because I want my eyes to look like hers. Just saying. Next up for mascara, Carolyn chose the Charlotte Tilbury Push-Up Mascara. This is a little trial that I got with like free with purchase, and I'm actually really liking it. I thought it smudged on me the first day, and it did smudge on me. I don't know why, but it hasn't done that since then, so I'm definitely liking it a lot better now. I forgot to put eyeshadow on the lower lash line, so I guess we're just not gonna do that. But I do want to add an inner corner highlight, so I'm just gonna take the pink shade from the highlighter duo and use this because I feel like it goes with the pinks that we put on the lid. I'm also gonna run this underneath the brow because why not add even more shimmer to the look. I'm gonna take the highlight brush with like a tiny little bit more and put it on this cheek because I thought it was just the lighting, but I actually feel like it needed a little bit more to match the other eye or the other cheek. Looking at my eyes, I feel like it does need a little bit of color on the lower lash line. So I'm gonna pick up that blend shade again on a smaller crease brush and try and kind of get it up underneath the mascara. I did not mean to put mascara on before I did that. Yeah, I feel like that looks way better. She has so much going on the top lid that I felt like I needed to kind of balance it out. Okay, the lips is where it might get a little bit tricky. I'm not sure how well these are all gonna match together, but we're just gonna go for it. So Eden chose the Juvia's Place lip liner that I just got, and this one is in the shade So Rare. I gotta wipe off my chapstick so I can actually use this. I try to use a little bit of a lighter hand with this because I do know what's coming next and I'm not sure about it. So we're just gonna have to see. Next up is lipstick, and my Panic Project chose e.l.f. Nectar. I also just have to like throw out an apology to you because I sent her this picture and I asked her to pick a lipstick, and I sent it and then I realized that one of them was a lip gloss and not a lipstick. And I was like, oh, there's plenty, like what are the odds that she'll choose that one? Like no big deal. And then she picked that one and I was like, no, because I had already had someone else pick the gloss and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to tell her. And so I sent her another message and she was so sweet and picked another one for me. So thank you so much for doing that, and I'm very sorry for the confusion. But let's go ahead and put on this Nectar lipstick. This is a very orange lipstick, which is a little interesting with the eye look, but you guys didn't know like what everyone else chose. So I do really like this lipstick, but maybe the lip gloss will kind of like tie everything back in together. However, I do like that the lighter pink goes with the pinks that we chose from, or not that we chose, that Rhea chose from the Natasha Denona Glam palette. And then the more like orangey lip goes with that kind of more like terracotta color from the blush palette. So you guys knew what you were doing. Like you guys figured it out. Amanda from Amanda Marie Loves chose the NYX This Is Milky gloss. I think she chose this one because she was curious about it too. It smells like Fruit Loops and it makes me so happy. Like this serious, if this smell ever goes off, I'm gonna have to go get another one. But it's a really, really cool toned lip gloss. So let's just see how it does. I'm a little nervous. I feel like they did exactly what I needed to. It toned down that lipstick just the tiniest little bit, and that even tied it in even better with this look. Now it comes down to this. Did you guys do a better job, or did my husband do a better job at choosing the full face of makeup? I'm just saying that you guys picked it and didn't know what everyone else picked, and he got to go through and like pick all of the products. So I think both of you did well because you guys love makeup like me, and he doesn't know what's going on in the makeup world. So I feel like you guys all did a great job. Let me make sure we're not missing anything before we move on to setting spray. I had these like lists of everyone. Okay, I don't think I missed anyone. So the last step is setting spray, and Ashley from Blonde Ambition Makeup chose the e.l.f. setting spray, and that's the Dewy Coconut Setting Mist. And I do really enjoy this one. I think that it's a really nice packaging. I like this a lot, and the sprayer is pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good. I love the way it smells too. That just gave me the dewiness that I really, really wanted. I feel like with that pop and highlight, the dewy look is going to just be perfect. Yeah, I love this. I'm all in for the glow right now. I had to turn my lights down though because it was like shining off of the highlight. Also, I feel like glowy looks look so much better in person than they do on camera, but this one I feel like looks really good on camera. I think you guys did a really great job. So give all of yourselves a pat on the back because you did great. I looked like a hot mess before this video. If you were one of the people that picked a product for me to use, thank you so much. I had so much fun with this whole process, from asking you guys to pick and then creating this full face of makeup. I think it turned out really nicely. If you voted yes and I did not reach out to you to vote, it just means that all of my categories were all full and I didn't have anything else for you guys to choose from. So if you liked today's video, let me know and I will try to do another one of these at some point in the future, because this was a lot of fun for me to be able to include you guys in this video. And I've really been looking forward to filming this video. So now I'm even more pumped to get it posted for you all. But with that being said, that is it for today's video. I am so happy with how this look came out. If you guys can't tell, I'm gonna go and film another video now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel if you wanna see a lot more videos from me. I am participating in Vlogmas, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel for that, because that is a big task. And I decided to do it 4 days before December 1st. So yeah. It's been a lot of late night editing, like a lot of late night editing. I do a full-time job, so this is a lot. That is it for me today. I'm rambling on now, but I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.